friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with CZUK Stitch, and today is Sunday, June 19th, 2022. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. We have Simon here. I'm home. I'm so happy to be home. The boys have been a little clingy since I've gotten home. I got home at 9 a.m. Portland time this morning from my work conference in Denver. So it was really early morning to get to the Denver airport and get through security and do all that good stuff. But I'm so happy that I'm home. The boys and I took a 4-hour nap when I got home, which I am okay with because I did not sleep very well at all in the hotel. The hotel we stayed at in Denver was a very nice hotel. It was really, really lovely. I just don't sleep well with hotel pillows because they tend to be way too soft for me. My pillow at home is kind of like a rock, basically, and I feel like it's really supportive. So I slept really well this morning. And now I'm here filming. It's been a couple of weeks since I filmed a regular Flosstube. Simon's going to help me out today. I hope you don't mind. Obviously, I was at StitchCon, which you saw that video, which I uploaded yesterday. The hotel Wi-Fi was super fast, so it uploaded really, really quickly, which I'm thrilled about. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Just kind of my perspective on everything. It was just the best weekend. It was just so wonderful. And we really lucked out with the weather and just everything was really, really great. Denver was super hot. It was super hot in my folks' house in Fort Collins. It was well into the 90s. I think one day it even reached 100 in Denver. Way too hot for me. But I was mostly busy with our annual meeting, so our biannual national meeting. So it was a great conference. I learned a ton, so I'm really happy about that. And now we're home for a little while. So I am thrilled to be here. So several of you had some really great questions on my last Flosstube from a couple weeks ago. So I want to address those. So first up, Vicky, who is also working on Christmas dinner. Vicky said that there are some little black dots on the pattern and she couldn't figure out what they were for. And Vicky, I looked at my pattern. I have it here. I just can't hold it up because it's a pattern. And if you're talking about, I think it looks like it's in the eyes of like the bunnies and the squirrels. Those are supposed to be French knots. There are two colors. So my working copy is just a black and white copy. So when I get to that point, I'm going to have to refer to the magazine copy to know which color is which because the colors look very similar. But it's DMC 840 and DMC 310 for the eyes, and they're supposed to be French knots. If you don't want to do French knots, though, you could also do put beads in. Either way. So I think that's what you're talking about, and I hope that helps. Let me know if not. Katie has some really great questions about, can you discuss good scissors for cross stitch? I love this question. I am no expert on this. I just know what works for me. But yeah, I'd be happy to. So what I started out with, I gathered my scissors, is this pair. This is DMC embroidery scissors that you can get at Joann's or Michael's. They're good scissors. They're about between $8 and $10. I can't remember exactly. I have been thrilled with them. I think they cut fine. They're nice. They're inexpensive. You can use a coupon for them. They work great. So I have that just in my stash. Something like this is something I would take with me on a retreat. In case they get lost, then I'm only out $8 to $10. They're not sentimental, no big deal. Okay? So that's what I would take on a retreat. What I took on the retreat are these. I don't know what these are or where I got them, honestly. I might have gotten them in a box or something, or maybe as a gift. Maybe I bought them. Clearly, I'm not sure. These are also nice. The finger holes, is that the official term, are a little small for me. I like to get, both fingers in there. This is a weird conversation, guys. But they're really pretty. These will also work really well. You can see it has a little bit of a blunter tip. It's not a super sharp tip, which for the most part for cross stitch doesn't matter a whole lot, but I'll explain where it might matter. The DMC ones, kind of similar. They're a little bit sharper tip. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt. Which I find is a little bit nicer. And the blade, so you can look at the blade size, is a lot longer on the DMC, which I also like, but sometimes if you need to get up really close, it's going to be easier to have a shorter blade. Okay. Now, my nicer or fancier scissors, I do have a pair of Dovos. These are from the Silver Needle. They no longer manufacture Dovos. You can probably still get some from some shops that might have left over, but they are no longer manufacturing them. Okay, so you can see these. These are very sharp tip. I don't know if you can see how sharp. Very, very sharp. So you have to be careful so you don't cut yourself, and so you don't cut like your fabric, right? If you are doing close cutting or trying to frog something out, blade length is a little bit shorter, but the blades on these are very high quality. These are very high quality scissors. I think I spent $70 for this pair of scissors. You do not need these. This is a want. This is something I just wanted at this point in my cross-stitch career. You do not need these. They're beautiful. They're lovely to work with. The finger holes are a little bit bigger, right? So I'm not like cramming my fingers in there. And it comes with this sheath to protect anything, from accidentally getting poked. But I love these Dovo scissors, but they no longer manufacture them. But there's a lot of other high quality scissors. But again, you don't need these. DMC embroidery scissors work just fine. I think the biggest difference is that when the blades start dulling, then you just get a new pair. And you can tell that when your cuts of your embroidery floss aren't as clean. That's when it's time to, I don't know. I assume you could maybe sharpen the DMC blades. I don't know. I don't know if that would be worth the money to sharpen them or not. I'm not sure how much sharpening scissor blades cost, but that's another option. So I have my fancy Dovos, and these I won't travel with. These stay at home because if I lost them, although it shouldn't happen, but if TSA decides to confiscate them, I'm out $70 versus $8 to $10, right? And then I got a pair of these really nice Bowen scissors. I showed these yesterday in my StitchCon recap video. These were a gift from my good friend Andrea for my birthday. These are Bowen. These are baby scissors. They're 2 1/4 inch. I have not used these yet, but I know that these are a very nice brand also. And you can see the finger holes are bigger, and you can see the blade length is a lot shorter, which again is going to be really good for getting in really close to your thread and your fabric. It looks like the tip is a bit sharper, somewhere maybe not as sharp as the Dovos, but still very sharp. Bowen, if you're familiar, is an excellent brand. So these are really nice scissors as well. And I will probably not take these on trips with the potential of losing them. I will probably take my less expensive scissors just because if I lose them, then that's fine. I have not actually used these yet, but because these are a brand new gift that I just got at StitchCon. So thank you, Andrea. So I have those. The ones I use the most are my Dovos at home. These stay in my stitchy bag, and I just use them. The others I will switch out. Well, that's not true. These I have like a box that I have stocked with the thread drops that I use. Here, let me show you. Some blank ones of these and some blank labels and a permanent marker. I have all that in this box, and I keep these scissors in here so when I have to prep a project to start, I don't have to go searching for another pair of scissors. I have these right in there. So I keep those there. The DMC ones, I actually had to look for them for this video. They're in my nightstand table. I'm not sure why. I guess sometimes I need to cut embroidery thread in my sleep. I don't know. I'm going to put these somewhere else. I'm not sure where, probably in my craft room, and I'll pull them out when I need them. But mostly right now I use my Dovos, although I am going to give the Bowens a try. Then the other pair of scissors I have that's a little bit different, and I don't know the name of these either, but I got these scissors from Acorns with the green handles. Look at those nice big finger holes. It's very sharp tip, a very sharp point. And what makes these different, these scissors, you can't see it, I don't think, but the blades have a little tiny serrated edge. So these I will use if I'm cutting things like Krynic, right? Embroidery thread that has some texture or some glitter in it. You don't want to use your regular scissors because that can dull the blades really quickly. But these are meant, because they have that serrated blade, they're meant to be used for things like metallic threads. So I keep these in my stitchy kit. It has a really nice blade length, I think. Whoops, there we go. Really nice, like not too long, not too short. I don't know. I really like these, but I only use them when I'm using metallics. So these were around $20. So not terribly cheap. But I use them not very often, right? Because if I'm working on a piece, right, it's not going to be mostly metallics, probably. And so these will last a really long time, I think. So I keep these in my stitchy kit as well, just so that they're handy whenever I need to cut some Krynic or metallic thread. So those are my opinions. There's a lot of really good scissors. Like I said, I just want to reiterate, you don't need these expensive scissors. You need scissors that will cut your thread cleanly. That's the most important thing. And scissors that you like and that you enjoy using. I know they have a lot of scissors out there now with different patterns and everything. And if that appeals to you, like these, I think I got them from a Facebook group. They have a fun little pattern on them. There's like pineapples on these, which I think is cute. You can do a lot of different things, but please don't feel like your scissors will keep you out of this hobby or like your scissors aren't good enough for cross stitching. As long as they cut the thread cleanly, you will be fine. So I hope that helps. If you have other questions that I will be happy to try to answer. There's a lot of other types of embroidery scissors out there. These are just the ones I have at my house. I saw somebody who displayed their scissors, which I thought was a really cute idea. They just got like a bulletin board and just kind of hung up a bunch of their scissors, which I thought was a cute idea. So maybe I'll look at doing that. Anyway, Katie, I hope that helps. Let me know if you have additional questions. And then Carolyn, not me, Carolyn, a different Carolyn, but with the best name. Carolyn wanted to know any tips for stitching with specialty floss. Another really great question. And I'm looking around here because I had pulled some specialty floss to show you. And now, of course, I think Simon stole it. So couple of things with specialty thread. So DMC, for me, I like really long lengths of DMC. So I'll go from, I'll hold it when I'm prepping the floss, I'll hold it in my hand and I'll go up to my shoulder, maybe like the center here. And that's the length that I use. I double it over in half. I like using the loop start with DMC. With specialty floss, it tends to be variegated because it's hand dyed. Even floss that maybe doesn't look very variegated, there is some variegation in there that can show up. So I don't use the loop start with specialty floss. And I should start by saying specialty floss, I don't use as long of a length because I think the dyeing process, I think it can tend to knot easier. So I do use shorter lengths, maybe about half the length. Some specialty floss comes pre-cut for you, so I don't even have to worry about it. And what I do is I will pull 2 strands because I like using 2 strands. If you stitch with 1 strand, you obviously just pull 1 strand and go ahead and stitch. I pull 2 strands and I make sure for me that the colors match at both ends so that If it's a piece of thread that goes from lighter to darker, I want to make sure the two lighter ends match up and the two darker ends match up. That will give the look of your stitching kind of more of a clean look. And the way I do specialty stitching, or stitching with specialty floss, I should say, is I complete one X at a time. So instead of going half cross, half cross, half cross, half cross across the row like you would with DMC and then work your way back, I do full X, full X, full X for the specialty floss. Because how you do it, you don't have to do it that way. That's just the way I prefer to do it, because it will show more of the variegation in the floss if you stitch it full X's at a time. If you're using specialty floss and you do half, 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 and then work your way back again, it'll be more modeled. Just the way that the variegation is in the dyeing process of that floss. So when you see a piece that maybe has stripes in it, like I'm thinking a pumpkin or the siding of a house, different stitchers will stitch that differently, but some say, I want the house to look like it has planks, right? Siding planks. And so being able to do full crosses at a time will help them achieve that look. For me, I don't worry so much about kind of fussy cutting the floss to make sure that the darker pink is in this area and the lighter pink is in this area. Here it is. He was sitting on it. Simon was sitting on it. So here's my example. This is Gassed Lavender Potpourri. And you can see how it gets really light at this end. And so I would just make sure that the light and dark ends match up with each other. So that's kind of how I use it. And I use shorter lengths. And you just, different dyeing companies will thread their floss differently. So if we were to take this off, I would start by taking it off. And opening it up just like this. And look, so you see that end is cut. This end is not cut. So technically, you could just start with that. Now, I think these are a little long because this is folded over. So your one thread will be twice this length. So what I would do, and like I said, I'm the type of person, I like a really long floss to work with. What I would do is I would open this up, and I like Gass because this is really easy, right? You don't really have to cut it. This would be the length. I think this is a little long even for me. So I would snip it right at the top here, and then my individual lengths would be this long. And then because I typically stitch with two lengths, I would take two of these, make sure that the light to dark matches up, and thread my needle and go on my way. So that's what I would do. I like Gass because it's really easy to prep those threads. It's just like snip, done. I think Weeks has like one really long strand and they wrap it around, so you kind of have to make a couple of cuts. But yeah, I hope that helps. For silks, this is for cotton. For silks, these are my silk threads. Oh, they're so nice to touch, from Christmas dinner that I pulled out. It's basically the same. You could see this one in particular has a lot of, I don't know if it's showing up, it has a lot of variegations from pinks and blues in it. Can't really see it. So these are a little long, to be honest. But so I would just make sure that the pink ends match up. Silk is has a little spring to it, so you just want to be a little more careful with pulling it so you don't distort the threads. They're still very strong. You know, it's not that it's going to break necessarily, but you just want to be a little more careful with it for it pulling out of shape. So, Carolyn, I hope that helped answer those questions. Those are really fun questions to answer. So thank you all, and let me know if you have additional questions about those topics or anything else you want me to talk about. All right, 20 minutes in. Let's talk about stitching. Hold on, I need a drink. All right, so the way I've broken this up is WIPs, works in progress, that I have worked on before StitchCon, during StitchCon, and after StitchCon. So we'll start with before StitchCon. So I did my 12 hours of Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. This is what it will look like. And since it's been a couple weeks, I can't even remember where I worked. I think I'm down here somewhere. I think. I could be wrong. We'll find out here in just a minute. This, working on this counted for the R and the A in the Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic, which for this month is floral. So the R for Rosewood Manor and the A for Autumn Quakers. I am stitching this on the called for 28 count Picture This Plus Doubloon. Here's where it is overall. And then, like I said, I can't remember exactly what I stitched on. Somewhere down in there. So this is probably page 4, I think, is done. Moving into page 5 is about where I think we are. And there's only 9 pages. The goal is to finish this year. So there you go. Autumn Quakers. And I'm using the called for Voldani threads for this one as well, which I have talked about how I use those before. Here comes Jack. I use them just as they come off the ball. So I use all 3 strands. Valdani is a 3-stranded floss. Here's Jack now to see me and to see you. Like I said, the boys are a little clingy since I've gotten home, but I'm okay with that. Next up, the theme for Magazine Monthly Challenge is flowers. And so I use this piece. This is Warm Welcome. And I'll show it to you. This is actually a magazine piece. So I use this for the theme. It is in this magazine, Ultimate Cross Stitch Cats and Dogs. This is volume 21 from 2019. And the whole piece, or the whole magazine, is all cat and dog patterns, which is really fun. So Warm Welcome was designed by Joanne Aston. And this is what it will look like when it's done. Speaking of cats. And so where I'm at is I'm up here in this background. So it doesn't look like much quite yet. There is some back stitching back in there, and I haven't started on that yet. And I think I'm just stitching this on either a 28 or 32 count even weave, which I love, because it's basically going to be full coverage. So this is where I'm at. I did get, a lot more done up in here and a little bit down in here. Again, it just doesn't look like a whole lot. It looks like a pile of like mottled flowers, kind of. But we're making progress. You can see the shape of the archway starting to come in a little bit. So I'm just working around that arch. And this one, I have met my goal on it for the year. So, excuse me. So this one will go away for the year, actually. Because we've met our goal of 15 hours for the year. So that was before StitchCon. Then at StitchCon, I actually did get some work done on some projects, which I'm thrilled about. So first up, I started With the Needle by Lila's Studio. I started this with Jan. So With the Needle 2, actually. Jan is, of course, starting hers, which she showed in her video from yesterday. She is starting right in this area because she wants to change the border to match With the Needle 1. This is basically a redo of With the Needle. I started right here with the border because I'm going to just do it as is. Of course, it's another really big one. I am using the called for floss, and I am stitching this on a 32 count vintage Sahara, and I bought this from Jen's Stitching Niche. I do have to cut it down. I ran out of time before StitchCon to cut it down. So it's a little bit bigger than it needs to be. And I need to do something with the edges. But let me show you. Let me show you what I got done. And I got all this done at StitchCon, which I'm really thrilled with. Here we go. So this is what I got done with the border. I think it's really pretty. I love the colors. And I think this fabric is really, really going to be great. There's a little bit of modeling. You can kind of see a little bit of modeling in there. Really pretty bright colors. So I did a total of 4 hours at StitchCon over a couple of days on this piece. I don't know when this one will come back out necessarily. As you know, maybe you know. Pieces that I start this year, I don't really have set goals on them usually. So they're not on my goal chart. So it might come out again this year. It might not. I'm not sure. But I have a good start on that, which I love. Okay, so the other one that I actually did start the day before I left for StitchCon and worked on it at StitchCon was Purple Rain. This is the project bag for Purple Rain that Devi made. It's gorgeous. I love it. Oh, I forgot to show you another pair of scissors that Devi sent. Laura sent me. I love these scissors too. They're purple. How fun is that? And then she gave us this scissor finder. You know what I mean. Sorry, my brain is not totally with it. So again, these are just really nice scissors. They have a nice finger hole. And they have a little nice sheath. And they work really well. And I'm going to use them for this Purple Rain piece. This Purple Rain piece has been like a village of gift giving. Devi made me the project bag. Laura sent me these beautiful scissors. EJ dyed the fabric for me. I mean, it's just really a fun piece to think about, kind of all your friends working on it together. So this is my start. I got about 3 hours of a start, and this is 412 stitches. There's a big block of color of all the same color, so it's really easy to make some good progress. I don't really know why I went so far out instead of, just doing more of this chunk, but oh well. Doesn't look like anything yet, but we do have 412 stitches in there, which is fun. Candy brought hers to StitchCon as well, and so I think we worked on separate days, but we did both work on them. So that was really fun to work on. And yeah, so that is Purple Rain, which is worked on. It was started before StitchCon, and then I worked on it at StitchCon. All right, next piece at StitchCon was Funky Flowers, and you saw in the StitchCon recap video from yesterday that Jan also brought hers. And we compared them because I am stitching mine on 28 count truffle by Picture This Plus. Jan is stitching hers on a 56 count. I can't remember the name, but it's a beautiful brown. So I started with this first one, which is Victoria. This is by the Bay Needle Art. And I basically got the flower done at StitchCon. This is for the F in floral. F for Funky Flowers. So I got the flower done. I'm just working on the little dots around the bag. So the flower itself is done. And I just basically have this little section of the dots to work on. Now for the dots, what I'm doing is the layout, because I'm doing all 24 of these, the layout is such that there are 4 across the top. And so I'm taking... So if you can see on the pattern here, these dots are supposed to be all one color. I'm taking the 4 colors that the dots call for, and I'm just intermixing them. So the whole top row will have a mix of these 4 colors. So I would like to get those dots done pretty soon, and I don't think it will take me very long to get the dots done, just so I can say, okay, the first one is completely finished. So that is Funky Flowers. The F in floral. Then after StitchCon, so I went from StitchCon to my parents' home in Fort Collins. I got no stitching done in Fort Collins. We tend to play card games or dice games when I'm with my parents, so there really isn't enough time to do some stitching. I mean, I could probably have fit it in if I really wanted to, but I didn't. But I did get stitching done in my hotel in Denver because it was 100 degrees outside and I wasn't about to go out in it. So the first piece that I worked on is called Early Bird Bouquets. This is by Felicity Hall. This is what they will look like. I'm doing all three, but I'm starting with this first one up here. I even love how they finish them in those painted frames. These are in the Cross Stitcher magazine from April 2019. It's issue 342. This is what the cover looks like. So I got a lot done. I worked on this for 6 hours, I think, or 3 hours, maybe just 3 hours. 3 hours, I think. So I finished up that cup, and then I started working on the flowers that are spilling out of the cup. And I have a few more flowers to do spilling out of the cup, the bird, which will go over here, and then all the back stitching. And then this one will be done. But I just love those colors and the flowers. It'll really come to life once I get that back stitching in. But my goal on this, I think, don't hold me to it because it's so early, but I think I'm going to try to finish all three of them by next year. Because if I can focus on them, they're pretty small pieces. I mean, they do have a lot in them, but I just need time to, right? That's what we all say. I just need time, and then I can finish all these projects. So that was Early Bird Bouquet. And then I worked on Autumn at Hawkern Hollow, which will look like this. I am on block 4 right here. And I finished block 4. Now, I haven't had a chance to calculate how long block 4 took me, because really I got up from my nap, I ate my bowl of cereal, and then I set up for this video. But let me show you what the whole thing looks like, and then I will show you up close what block 4 looks like. So this is where we're at. My goal is to finish it this year, but I'm only on block 4, and it's already, I mean, June is almost over. So we'll see what we can do. It's really going to be a push. But I'm happy to have block 4 done. It says the woods are filled with autumn glory. So we are done with block 4 and ready to move on to block 5. I'm not going to super stress about it if I don't end up getting it done this year. Like I said, after finishing spring, I'm a little burnt out on hawk runs just because their blocks are so big. But I do want to finish them because I love them. So we will see. We will see what the second half of the year brings us, huh? So that was Autumn at Hawk Run. And that block is finished. And that is what I stitched on over the past couple of weeks. I was really surprised how much I was able to get done at StitchCon. That made me really happy. Like I said in yesterday's video, I think I got 2.5 to 3 hours done most days, so that was really good. Okay, let's do some giveaways. I feel like doing some giveaways. So this is really in celebration of StitchCon, and I know many of you wanted to go and couldn't go, and Jack is here to help with the giveaways. I wanted to give away some of the things I found on the freebie table for you all. So first up is this little Twinkle Twinkle Little Star by JBW Designs. This is 69 wide by 67 high, and I am going to open this internationally, and we'll go from there. So if you would like to enter, of course, be able to give me your address. Don't say giveaway or anything like that. Otherwise, I'll have to delete your comment just to keep the trolls away. But if you're interested in winning this, say twinkle. It is going to be the keyword, twinkle. I love it. I think it's so cute. All right, the next one we're going to do is by La Di Da. It's called Awake My Soul. says Awake My Soul and Sing. This one is 126 wide by 165 high. So it's deceptively a lot bigger than it looks like it would be in the picture here. And if you want to enter for this one, say sing. It says Awake My Soul and Sing. S-I-N-G. Sing. Then the next one is going to be, I think this is going to be a very popular one. Hands-On Designs, A Year of Celebrations. So you get all 12 of these celebration months in this kit. And if you're Canadian, I think you should enter for this as well because they have a July and November Canadian version that you can swap out. So if you would like to enter to win this, say celebrate. Each piece is about 50 by 50. So they're small. They're very cute. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for giveaways. Now, let's do... Jack knocked over one of your giveaways. I'm sorry, folks. Let's do haul. I have a little bit of haul. So I had a lot of haul from StitchCon. This is extra haul, not from StitchCon. When I was in Fort Collins visiting my parents, I wanted to go to the Colorado Cross Stitcher. This is inside a knitting shop called the Loopy Ewe, which EWE, which I used to go to when I was a knitter. I don't know if you know that. I knit for like 20 years before I refound cross stitch, and now I no longer actually knit. But Colorado Cross Stitcher is inside the Loopy Ewe. So my mom and I took an afternoon and we went there. And my mom very generously bought me a few charts. The first one is Antique Cats and Crowns by Shakespeare's Peddlers. I think this is just darling. I'm thinking I will do the crowns in some type of cry neck. Because it needs some sparkle, doesn't it? We'll see. But I think this is really cute. So, Antique Cats and Crowns. The next one she bought me is by Sori Ajardine. Collection Tralala. It's French. I apologize if I butchered that French. It's a little mouse in her garden. And I think this is really adorable. My mom thought it was super cute too. So she got it for me. Really cute. And then this one we both really like too is Blackbird Designs Strawberry Fields Forever. I just think it's so pretty. And then she made a comment that you should just get, there's 6 in this series. She's like, just get all 6 of them for us and stitch them. I'm like, okay, Mom. I'll get that done by next week. But Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. And then I had to pick up a few myself. So I got this Luminous Fiber Arts Friendship Series Stitching Birds. Erica, this is for you. What's for me? We saw this at in the annex at StitchCon, and I restrained myself from getting it. So instead, I waited a few days till I got to Fort Collins. But I have it now, so we can do a stitch along. I think this is just darling. Such a darling piece. I got a Teresa Kogut Work of Heart. I think this is really beautiful. This is called Good Tidings. I'm hoping I don't already have this one. I showed it to my friend Sam, who got me a Teresa Kogut one year, and she's like, isn't that the same one I got you? I'm like, I don't think it is, but I'm going to double check. If it is, then this is going to go in the giveaway pile, if it is the same. But I think that's really pretty. And for Garon Designer Focus, December is Teresa Kogut month. This month is Plum Street Sampler, which I just don't have time to participate in for this month. But December is Teresa Kogut, so get your Teresa Koguts ready. And then somehow I have 0 modern folk embroidery charts until now. So I got this Red Berries, A Christmas Greeting. I think this is gorgeous. In yesterday's video, I showed 2 Vicki Clayton silks that they were giving away at StitchCon. One was green, one was red. And I think those colors will look perfect for here. I just have to make sure I have enough. I think they're 5 yards each, so I might need more. But that kind of tone of this is green and red, but they're different tones than you normally see at Christmas. So I love this. I think it's so pretty. So I am set on charts for a long while. So that's what I got at Colorado Cross Stitcher. And I did take a little bit of footage. They don't have a lot of displays up yet. And some of them, I'm going to cut out some of the video I took because the way the lights were shining, you really couldn't see the picture. You could just see the reflection of the lights. But I'm going to insert some video here that I took from Colorado Cross Stitcher. Fun store. They have a lot of really great charts, and it was really fun to go through there. They have also a lot of really neat bags and all that. It was fun to go through there with my mom. So I think that will become a regular stop whenever I go visit my folks. All right, let's talk plans. I have a cat here. This one is Simon down here. I told you they are being very clingy, which I'm okay with, honestly. Okay, plans. Next Saturday, I am working at Acorns and Threads. So I will not be able to film on Saturday, but I do plan to film on Sunday. So just be aware of that. But this week, I'm going to start, the pieces I'm going to work on. Tonight, I'm going to work on Cat Alphabet. This is a Haid. Artwork is by Irina Garmashova, and it's charted by Michelle at Haid. And I'm still right up in here in that first Cat Alphabet. And let's take a look at where I'm at. This is 18 count Ada. And I'm in that C, so I will probably continue working in that C. I think it's mostly one color left to complete that C, so I'll probably focus today on finishing up that C. That will feel really good. And then maybe starting in here, and then maybe go back out here to bring this part down a little bit. I don't know, but definitely focusing on the C, so hopefully I can show you a completed C next time. But this is where we're at. Progress is slow, but we are getting there. You know, working on it only 3 hours each month. You know, it's going to be slow progress. I am going to be really excited to see at the end of the year, compare it with the beginning of the year. So that will be fun. The end of the year, beginning of the year with, you know what I'm trying to say. A year's progress is what I'm trying to say. Then I'm also going to work on Cardinal Cottage, another Haid. So I'm doing 2 Haids back to back. Cardinal Cottage is designed by Donna Gelsinger. I have a cat pawing at me right now. And I'm up here where it doesn't look like much when in the stitching part. So it'll be fun to make progress and actually get to see something. I will enjoy that very much. This is also 18 count Ada, which I think I found is my happy place. Okay, so this is where we're at. This is where we're at. So just background, kind of modeled, not really able to make anything out, but we're getting there. It was exciting last time to get into the pink, so I'll probably kind of pull down a little bit here, I'm guessing. And as you can see, and I know I talked about how I stitch Hades, I think it was last video. You know, I just I use Pattern Keeper and I just kind of go. So I don't necessarily do it in diagonals or anything like that. So it doesn't look as neat as some other people's, but you know, the end goal is the same. I'm going to do a new start. So each of those Hades will get 1 day each. And then I'm going to do a new start because summer starts this week. Although in Portland, let me tell you, I was so happy to get back to Portland where it was like 65 and gray and cloudy. It feels so nice here. But I'm going to start Summer Montage, which is artwork by Janet Stever, and it's charted by Pain Free Crafts. I'm doing these with Stitching Mommy, Sarah, and so this is what it will look like. I think this is darling. Look at that crab. But I'm going to start up here in the upper left corner and just work as much as I can. I'm going to dedicate 3 days to this one to give it a good, healthy start. As Andrea would say, you need a good, healthy start. And then I'm going to start on my Whip Go pieces. I have not forgotten about my Whip Go pieces this month. So the first Whip Go piece that was called for me was Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. So this is what it will look like when it's all done. I believe I have the first box done, and so it's going to be time to start on the second one, which is going to take me about 200 years to finish because that is almost full coverage. Let's take a look to see for sure. I haven't pulled this out, I don't think, yet this year, so that's why I can't quite remember. Oh, look at that. All right, I'm thrilled. Okay, so I have a little bit of the second block. The block itself is that border is done, which is exciting. And I have a little tiny baby start in there of the snow. So yay, I'll get moving on that. That's exciting. You know, these borders are not very exciting to work on. They're literally 92 by 92. And it's like a black or a brown and you just go around. And I've done so many of them at this point, but they're necessary. So that's exciting that border is done and I can just kind of focus on the block itself. This is Simon now. Simon's up here. So that is what I plan to work on in this coming week. And like I said, I will be back on Sunday to film. So I'm going to edit this. I am going to order a pizza for dinner. Instead of going grocery shopping, because really, who can be bothered, and take a nice hot shower in my own shower and get set up to stitch tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for watching the StitchCon video. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're not sick of me yet, and I will talk to you next weekend. Bye.